All right, so after creating the concept or just whatever it is I was talking about, man, for me it's new. Somebody somewhere might have thought of it before, might have done it. For me, it's new. This understanding of of the way things are absorbed. With me, it's working. I think it will work with everyone. I think ultimately what we need to try to do is when people say use your imagination until you see it clearly. Imagination always starts blurry and clearly means it ends in a reality. Because you can see everything in front of you right now clearly. And what you want to do, your goal, if you use your imagination to create a path to it, then you'll be able to see it clearly. You'll be able to look at it. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. It, it's always made sense, but maybe it's the first time I'm actually noticing it in this kind of like narrative, in this lore, in a more story-like structured, as in like I'm able to connect whatever I think is just the science of how your mind processes things, or just me scientifically approaching things, right? And I'm trying to connect it to things that I have heard from people and things that people talk about, things people kind of like express, understand, all these things. So you've heard a lot of times like use your imagination. Uh, what does it really mean? And that's what I was like questioning right now. I've seen it many times be like, no, don't give up. What exactly is giving up? And why would why would it ever be a thing? If that's something we want to do, why would it be a thing? Why would it become a thing? What would make it a thing? No, there's a beautiful pattern that could dissect any concept. And it's just destructuring it in the most mundane way possible. And then destructuring it into the smallest of things that don't matter. And then when you reach there, you kind of start connecting everything together. And suddenly, you basically can see clearly the thing that you have been imagining for so long. Using your imagination means getting closer, closer and closer. You're getting to you're building the road in order to get to where you want to get. And then when you get there, you can see it clearly as if it's right in front of you because it is. Whew. We're only at 4 minutes. Not bad. So with somebody that, so I wonder the people that kind of like seem to look to have lived life not the way we want it. And I think that matters. Why? Because like for us, we're only impressed and inspired by the people who kind of like we connect with or we bond with or that reflect our values, principles, lifestyle, all that stuff. So funny, yeah, it's like they have the same lifestyle as us. And so basically, when this happens, what's the first thing that starts going around? The first thing that starts going around is oof, love, I guess. Okay, So I think, I think, uh, well, if love is the answer, then we have to like unjudgingly look at people. Well, there is a question for you. What would we expect to see? Right? That is one of the worst unknowns we could have in front of us. What would we expect to see if we're not judging people? What are we doing when we're judging them? We're attaching labels to things they're doing. That's basically it. It's the most primitivist form of like, oh, this, oh, that, oh, this, oh, that. We are literally building the image, an image in our heads. And effectively, when we're actually trying to when we're trying to engage with them, we're engaging with that image. And for us to truly love them means we don't actually judge them, because judgment is literally is well, there's a certain bit of tyranny behind judgment, right? That's why they always, I think, in the God's judgment is a storm, God's judgment is lightning, is fire. Uh, it's like a harsh approach to the outlooks, I guess. Whilst the truth behind life is, oh, I'm still here, don't worry about it. Don't worry, guys, I didn't go anywhere. But the truth about life is that it nourishes, right? It supports. It's the everyone technically has a chance because it doesn't differentiate. Life is unbiased, and it doesn't really like it rains on everyone equally. Now, that's actually a saying in Africa. It's like water cannot fall on one man's house, one man's roof. The water can't fall on one man's roof. Like, no, we're all in this together. And so I think judgment is the opposite of love when it comes to life, the worlds, and to be able to let things be the way they are is the only thing that allows us to be present and to deal with, just handle it, not deal, handle it. And I think that's the whole, like, I go back to it because when it comes to Stoicism, and again, I thought of Stoicism while I was trying to, like, get out of the funk of having this idea in my head. It was like the feeling of fear that's kind of like giving me a bit of like an itch. I was like, what are you doing? What are you thinking of? What are you processing? And yeah, I think like guiding it, even though it's uncomfortable, but like guiding it into the understanding that you're feeling this way because there's something new, but this something new is exciting. Like I literally, before I started ranting on the and recording, I was thinking about how if I were to like respond to write a template for designers, to build a template for designers where we add the information they would need and a way to be explained, a way for the concept to be explained. And by doing that, we'll be able to basically for later on in the future, because like I'm building a company around this, around everything. I'm building a company, I'm building a fucking startup. I want to do that. I want to actually succeed in it. I want to like structure it. So anything that will take my attention, man, I want to give it my attention. Shouldn't I? Or am I just going to go around blabbing about like the dream or whatever it is? No, if I were to be doing anything, I need to be thinking about this stuff. And so ultimately, like the feeling of me actually doing those details brought about a certain, not anxiety, more than just, I think, misunderstood excitement, because I was having fun and I was singing and there was a song playing that was nice and I was like actually like picking colors, but it felt weird. Why would it feel weird? It's the first time I think this way. This is the first time I'm looking at a paper, I'm not writing it, I'm actually using punctuation. I'm using capital letters when I need to. I'm separating and creating a tone when I'm writing something. And every single time I want to do something, I'm actually considering all different angles and I write them down. Not I think about them, I write them down, and then I take another piece of paper to like kind of like sort it out properly. And every communication I have with people is kind of like being documented one way or another, if it leads somewhere. And that's what's going on. Like all the people that I engage with are people that are good people, that are supportive, that are, and again, supportive for values or supportive just because. What I mean value is for money, right? That's the guy's profession is that thing, whatever it is. Like I'm gonna ask him questions about it and hiring people and working with people. So it's literally just weird to be excited this way and have this feeling, I guess. And that's basically something that people allow to happen with them. I really kind of I'm enjoying this. Any way I explain it, I can't. It does feel surreal, and I try to like keep myself grounded. And it's not me being dramatic. It's just actually noticing your change and allowing yourself the chance to kind of like test it out, look at it in different angles. Look what I can do now. Look what I'm trying to do now. I think that's the whole fun, or that's the one thing that kind of like brings out. It explains why it was completely worth it to be doing the things you did before you got to this feeling. It really gives it like weight, and being able to understand that that's how it goes is also like something that I have to allow. Cool beans, man. This is a good rant. Thank you.